And then you would tell the Johnny Cash thing. That's quite
Yes,
a story.
it's quite a
I
story.
think this historically, he did something so crazy. And you always had ideas. And I wanted to ask, and then we'll go into about your can we call them crazy ideas, fun ideas, big
They
ideas?
really are, yes.
From God.
Because you would have
ideas from God.
He's starting his church. So
Davenport,
when his wife was trying to settle in with things, and so he went to pastor. He said, "I'm going to settle down and pastor a church." And this little church, where was that located?
It was my dad's church in Kansas City.
But
I
you,
became his associate pastor.
But
And then I went to Davenport.
Davenport,
76 people.
76. You said mean people in this book. Is that
the
wrong
meanest
to
people,
say?
Meanest people you ever did see. Yeah. That had 6 pastors that had in the last 10 years.
Oh, my.
And I never pastored
Turn
before.
over.
The total income
And
of the
you'd
church.
never pastored a church?
No. I couldn't get a good church. They all turned me down. You know, I was a well-known evangelist. And then when I announced I wanted to become a pastor, I put my name in all the big churches.
Yes.
And they didn't respond. So I put my name in all the medium-sized. They didn't respond. I put my name in all the small churches. They didn't even respond. So finally I said, God, no matter who invites me, I will go. That's where you want me anyway.
You're desperate.
That's right.
It was Davenport, Iowa.
Wow.
76 people. The building, we sold it for $10,000.
Oh.
The building. The total income of the church was $25,000 for the entire year.
Wow.
They paid the preacher out of it, the bills out of it. You know, it was very, very, very rough church to pastor. But here was the big one. I went to old Jimmy Snow, a revival. Hank Snow's son.
Hank Snow was one of my partners, one of the greatest,
Nashville, Tennessee.
greatest country stars of all time.
I've
was
been
Hank
everywhere,
Snow.
man.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and is his son?
Pastored a church there.
Where is he alive right now?
He's alive. He's my age, and he's
Is he
just
still preach?
started a church or another church.
I gotta have him on the show or something.
Well, you got to.
I mean, his dad was my faithful partner.
Wonderful man.
See, everybody in your book, I
It's all there.
I know them. They're all there.
And so when I went to the church, him and June walked in. It wasn't a big church, small church. And when the altar call was given, I talked to them. And I'm not a little foggy on whether they knew Christ then or the week later they accepted, but I know, okay.
Yeah.
So a few months later, I was at the main auditorium in my city.
Yes.
And Johnny Cash came and had a big concert. When it was over, I walked to the back. I had a plan. I said to the guard, would you tell Mr. Cash there's a Tommy Barnett here that wants to talk to him? I didn't know it, but he was right behind the curtain. And he said, send the Reverend in. And I walked in and said, Mr. Cash, I've got a dream. I want to have the world's biggest Sunday school. And I said, if you would come and we'll rent John O'Donnell Stadium
Yes.
and you sing and I'll preach,
Yes.
I believe we can have the world's biggest Sunday school. I said, Jerry Falwell now has a record for the world's biggest Sunday school, but I just love to beat the Baptists. And I said, will you come and sing and I'll preach?
Yes.
And he said, Reverend, he didn't even pause, I'll do it.
Oh.
He brought 2 semi-trucks.
Oh.
He brought his caravan.
Oh.
He brought the blue suede shoes, Carl Perkins.
Wow.
Yes.
He brought the Carter Singers. He charged at that time $100,000 for an appearance. And I saved up all that I could get saved up for him. And he came, he brought his entire caravan. And I preached that day after we had 30,000 people.
30,000 people.
The largest crowd in the history of Davenport at that time. And when I gave the altar call, there were 6,000 that came forward as he sang, come home, it's supper time. It's like a Billy Graham crusade.
Yes.
So when it was over, I said, Johnny Cash, how much?
That was what you call crazy ideas, but I don't think they're crazy.
Well,
I love your ideas.
I tell you what was different about it. Nobody had people like that. He had never been on Billy Graham's program. And he said, today, would you mind, remember I had a very, very, very holiness-oriented church. And he said, would you mind if I would open up with a secular song? Because I don't want these people to think that I just use them.
Oh, my.
And I said, well, of course. I said, what do you want to sing? He said, I want to sing Sunday Morning Coming Down. And the opening part of it was...
Somebody in the audience.
And the beer I
not
had for
saved.
breakfast. You remember that? Yeah. And one of the lines was, and the beer I had for breakfast was so good I had one more for the road.
That's
I
right.
thought they were going to run me out of town.
Did they run you out?
Oh, nobody said a word about it. It was Johnny Cash.
Because Johnny Cash. They love
So-
Johnny
That's
Cash.
right.
If you're country, you love Johnny.
I said, can I pay you? I've got an offering I want to give you. I didn't say, can I? I said, what would I need? And his pastor, I won't take a penny. He'd paid all of his expenses, stayed in the hotel, would not take a penny. And 3 years later, he came back and did it a second time.
Oh, my land. And didn't charge you.
Never charged me.
That was a miracle, too.
Yeah.
That was part
That's
of
the
this
kind of man
miracle.
that he was.